And I think if we stick to, like you said earlier, we stick to trends that fall within our world of business, I think we're okay, right? But chasing a trend just to chase a trend, like just putting down people or being upset about a call, it's like at that point, you're just falling into what everyone else is doing, which is complaining.
Well, Tristan, Super Bowl has come and gone. It was actually a very unentertaining game unless you're an Eagles fan, which I did have money on the Eagles, so I enjoyed it. Uh, the halftime show was interesting. I'm not one to criticize it because I'm just not a fan of that guy's music. I don't know. I don't think it was very. I don't know. Maybe there was a strategy behind Kendrick Lamar. I'm not sure what it was. I'd like to get your opinion on that. And the other thing I want to talk about as far as Super Bowl is the ratings, which it was down, but specifically to social media, how and Forbes magazine wrote about this that and they in quotes there were millions of social media posts about the Super Bowl, which to me begs the question when something like that happens, do you jump in on the action or is it diluted and it's really just a waste of time? And should you maybe try to do a pattern interrupt to everything they're saying on social and post something else? But before we get to that question, what'd you think about the Super Bowl?
I thought it was crap. It was, I mean, dude, 20, what was it? Halftime, was it 30?
24 nothing, I think, at halftime.
Whatever, not, it was terrible, man. I was like, what is this? And then halftime is over. By the way, I didn't think anything of the halftime show. I like Kendrick Lamar. I like his music. And when I first started seeing it, he mentioned that he was going to do something, um, but it was going to be peaceful. And I watched it. I was like, okay, cool. Just it's like it's called like the Black experience as a whole, because Black people are still suppressed in what they do and how they show up and everything. And I thought it was well done. It wasn't he didn't do anything bad. He had Samuel L. Jackson, right, as Uncle Sam, right?
That
And
was
then
cool.
he
Yeah.
had Serena Williams dancing. I had to look twice. Like, was that Serena Williams?
I thought that I thought it and then I thought that that looked like Serena, but there's no way that's Serena. That really was. I didn't know
That's
that.
what I thought too. I had to Google it. Like, was that Serena? What's that about? So she had to dance. She chose to dance because if she would do that dance at, I forgot which tournament, they would fine her, right? And I was like, okay, so part of the Black experience. I was trying to get it. I was like, okay, cool, dude. Very nice. Very well done. Um, and I shot a quick little story on it. I was working and watching.
Saw that.
So that
Mhm.
was my first time downloading an app to watch the Super Bowl. I didn't watch it on TV. I watched it on my iPad and I downloaded Tubi, which was Fox's app or something. And I
Mhm.
was like, I was on and off, dude. It honestly, Chiefs, Eagles, I was already like, it's not that great. That's how I thought. And it ended up being
Yeah.
worse than I thought. Favorite commercial was Google Gemini, where the dad is you watch the only because I have a daughter and you have a daughter too. You have to watch that one. Uh, from when she's a baby all the way up to graduation and how Gemini is part of that. Google, really good commercial. And I happened to watch that one with my daughter, so I got a little emotional. It was nice. And then the
That's cool.
Rocket Mortgage. That was a good one.
Yeah, Duncan was good.
Hmm.
Always.
But my favorite funny one was Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah,
The
that was funny. Yeah.
That was good, man. That was my
Yeah.
favorite funny one, hands down.
Harrison Ford was good. It was later in the game, the Jeep commercial.
That was good. It was long, but
Yeah, it was.
yeah, I like
They
that
just
one too.
they had to
I
spend
think
some
I,
money
I
on
think
one.
I caught all the commercials, and I worked while the game was on. The
Yeah.
commercials came, I stopped working. Dude, 24-0 and they never caught up. What do you want me to do? Like,
Yeah, no, I mean, I think most of the, as far as the game is concerned, just based on social media in general, I think a lot of people were rooting against the Chiefs if you're not a Chiefs fan. Here in Missouri, it's kind of, I would say it's probably 60% Chiefs, 40% either are coming to camp of they don't like them because, it's Kansas City and they're not Kansas Cityans, or they're St. Louisans and they just hate the NFL because of what they did to us. Um, so it's different perspective for me. I think the rest of the country, it was kind of just nobody wants to see the same team win over and over again. And so I
yeah,
think
that was
there was a
nice.
lot of I think the country was probably more on the Eagles.
Yeah, I
Um,
noticed that too. I didn't care.
yeah, I didn't really care either. And I'm indifferent. I'm not anti-Chiefs. I'm not pro Chiefs. I root for them because they're in our state, but I don't really care. And yeah, I don't know. To me, and then we're getting off subject here, but like we were talking about this last night. Like Mahomes is like, how can you criticize the guy? People,
Oh,
they say all kinds of negative things, but it's like the guy is he's squeaky clean. Like it's
it's
really hard to
amazing.
be squeaky clean in this day and age as that much of a mega athlete.
Yeah.
So
It just came down to one game that one team played much better. They both made it to the Super Bowl. Dude, we've all had those games, man.
yeah, yeah,
And look, we've all had those posts on social media, which we think are going to be amazing. And what
yeah.
do? They suck ass. By the way, hi Brian. How you doing, buddy?
How about the seal commercial?
That was
So
good.
that
You
was funny.
couldn't open the Mountain Dew. That was hilarious.
Yeah, yeah, you
That's
got
fun.
that one.
Yeah.
They had that When Harry Met Sally. That was kind of a blast from the past.
That was good. But I saw that one come out before on commercials, like the week
Yeah, yeah,
before.
yeah. Same. Oh, the same as the Bud Light one. I've seen that one, which was great. I love that one with what's his face, the
Which
musician
one?
that turned country. Um, what the
Oh,
hell's the guy's name with all the tattoos?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw that one. That was a good one. That was fun.
With Peyton Manning,
That was supposed to
David
be
Beckham with Matt Damon.
that was a good one. Man, I watched all the
Hmm.
commercial, I think for the first time ever. It made
Yeah,
it so much easier. I could take my iPad anywhere and watch it anywhere. That's why I loved that they did it on Tubi. It's never been
yeah,
done before, man.
yeah,
I think
yeah,
they finally embraced the mobility factor, which was nice.
yeah, yeah.
So social, how do you show up on social the day after,
Or
during?
or during, yeah. I mean, I think it just begs the question in general, like with anything that's trending, and I think I know your take on this. I don't know if it's changed. I know my take has definitely changed, and
Dude,
that is I'm not a trend chaser anymore. I just don't think it's necessarily. I don't think we really understood. This is just my opinion. I don't think really most people on social, even those of us that have experience, really know why we're chasing a trend. I think generally speaking, it's like, ooh, let's jump on this so we can go viral. But it's like when you really stop and think about it, so what? Like, what does that necessarily do for you, especially if it's off brand, if it's not on brand?
there,
Um,
the key right there. Yep.
yeah, so I don't know. What's your take on just, again, millions of posts and dude, like so much like again, locally, I was seeing things like that first penalty of the game. I don't know if you were paying attention, but the first
I
penalty on the
was.
Eagles' first drive, and it was a bad call. They should have called it, and everyone was like, "Oh, here we go, the Chiefs getting the calls," and then they got a makeup call on like the next drive or a couple
Yep.
drives. But um, just things like that. Like it's like people are watching the game, and by the way, I didn't post anything. I didn't even think to post, to be honest with you. But it just always makes me wonder, like rather than having human interaction with people, like this is their human interaction. Like I have to run to social to type a question.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like validation,
Hmm.
emotional elevation. What is it? Like what is it that makes our society now rush to Facebook when they see something that happens and I saw a lot about the halftime show. I was going to use the word garbage because that was the word I saw. I wouldn't call it garbage. I actually thought the show was good. The choreography was really good. I enjoyed the American flag part of it. The music I just don't care for. It's just not my style of music. Um, but that's what I saw. I saw a lot of people say this is garbage. I don't know. What do you think? What is the psychology? What is the reason why people that we do this?
We do it because at the core, we we value being part of a community, right? We value being part of something that we can connect with. So this is why you and I get along, right? We've built our own little community where we share ideals, and I think for the most part, Jeff, you and I see eye to eye, right? Like almost on everything. And that makes me even, I mean, I like also bringing in people that don't agree with me, but this is why I gravitate to you a lot more because I'm thinking, if you think like I do, that means not only do you validate what I think, but I need to be watching what you're doing because that means I can do it too, and maybe we can build off of each other, right? And so, in a sense of community, and the only place we go to community is social media now, right? On a bigger scale, we have to go out there and find our people. Are our thoughts validated by other people coming in and saying, "Dude, you were so right," or "Man, you're wrong," right? And that's what we see. And I think hacking into the trends, I think for us as business owners, we really need to stick to what it is that we want to show with that trend. Is it real estate related? And if you're going to do real estate related, I think the best one to do, at least the opportunity that we have, is comparing Kansas City with Philadelphia, like the prices, right? Or what's going on in each one, or how the easiest one right now that is a trend is what is Trump doing to housing with the policies, right? And that's easier. And I think if we stick to, like you said earlier, if we stick to trends that fall within our world of business, I think we're okay, right? But chasing a trend just to chase a trend, like just putting down people or being upset about a call, it's like at that point, you're just falling into what everyone else is doing, which is complaining.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
that's not fun, dude.
It's
That's
well, even thinking about which by the way, I didn't watch I think it was the Grammys, and it was the box on the head or something like that. I just heard about
oh,
it.
the house, the castle, the
Yeah,
little
yeah.
castle on the head. That was
And
hilarious.
then realtors were using it, and or the one I posted today, which was the George Bush reaction at the inauguration, and like
It's good.
the gal with the what's his name, Bezos's wife, and
Oh, oh, yeah, yep.
but it's like, is there an advantage to rushing to it? Does it really matter? I mean, my take is if you're gonna do those trends, find a way to bring it back to your niche,
Yep, that's
you
it.
know?
That's it.
But does it matter? Is it a game of the faster I get the house on my head out after the Grammys, I win the race? Like what are we, you know what I mean? I always am trying to kind of just dissect this stuff in my own head and figure it out.
In some cases, it does. I think because when people rely on you to be, it depends on who you are on out there, right? Like if people depend on you to be the first one to put up something and people are following your opinion, which by the way, most real estate agents don't fall into that category, right?
Mhm.
Uh, if somebody's waiting for your opinion, yes. But if not, then the only thing that you would do it for, in general, like you in general, would be to try to jump on an algorithm so you're first and maybe get likes. But then is that the type of social media that you want to run? Probably the answer is no, right? I don't want to be the first one to post something just to get eyeballs on it. And then does it much match my brand? Like,
Yeah.
what are we doing? I agree,
Yeah.
man. But
I think,
that's the problem with social. We look out there and we're like, I want to do that. That looks cool. I should be doing that. And then we're sidetracked.
but why? Yeah, it's like the question of why. And I guess you could make the argument that getting engagement is a positive thing, regardless of necessarily if it's on brand, because it will potentially draw people to see your next post. Right. So it's like if I'm posting all about real estate and I get very little engagement, and then I post a question about the Super Bowl or statement about the Super Bowl that gets 25 comments, it just increased the odds that those 25 people now are going to see my next real estate post. Doesn't mean they're engaged. That would be an argument for. Um,
Yeah, but it's also tame, You're using it not to not to incite people. You're using it as a trend and you're being respectful and it falls within your theme, right? It's like you're just engaging people.
mhm.
I think the differentiating factor is when we start jumping on trends to hate, right? Just to capture people's emotions. And you watch that happen on social. It pisses me off. Like you and I know people that we follow that just hit on the emotion button on purpose, just to just because they want to be out there a little bit and they want to get that engagement. And then what do they do with it? Dude, I don't agree with that.
Yeah. Well, it can also doing that sort of thing really becomes a massive time suck of of the wasteful variety. You know what I mean? It's like
No.
because then all of a sudden you're getting these people that are arguing with you, and then it's elevating your blood pressure, and you become consumed with it. Now all of a sudden you're derailed from, you know,
Yeah. I think that's where you start looking at social media and saying, man, social media is toxic. It's a waste of time. Everyone is so angry. I'm gonna quit social. Well, guess what? It's your fucking fault. Like you put yourself in that position. That's the problem, man. I
yeah,
still think for you and I and people that treat social media as a business, I still think the core of everything we do, and you've done it really well on some videos even more. Storytelling, like just storytelling, going back to storytelling that matches your theme, right?
yeah.
That is key, hands down.
Hmm. Yeah, I guess and you thinking about it from that perspective of, and now I know the Super Bowl's now behind us and you're a year ahead. But I think as you think, let's I don't know when this is going to get released, but today is the 10th, February 10th. Valentine's Day is Friday. Thinking
Mhm.
about what's next, and I challenge my editing team on this too. Like, let's just not put out a bunch of garbage like templated junk. Let's either personalize it or make it useful. And
Yeah.
when I say useful, for example, I'm gonna put a post out for my audience, specifically like the Ozarks, that top five restaurants that you should take your significant other on Valentine's Day or really any date night,
Okay,
um,
like that.
and just make it relevant to my geographic area, right? And I
Yeah.
think I think as a real estate agent or a real estate professional, that's the way you want to think. Is think about not just, hey, happy Valentine's Day. To me, I would do one of two things: go to ChatGPT, ask it to write a real estate specific poem for
Hmm.
Valentine's Day. It'll impress you, and have fun with that. Or yeah, put out something that's geographically centric. That's like, here's the top five restaurants that I would take my date to. You know what I mean? My favorite,
Like
whatever you
that.
want, however you want to
Local, right?
contextualize it. Yeah.
Local to
Hmm.
me. So you and I are notorious for having great ideas and sitting on them for fucking years and not doing anything. And then when we do it, we're like, oh, I fucking knew it, right? So here's another one, Jeff. Okay.
Okay.
For about 6 months or so, I've been eyeing to do a video, but I feel like I don't know if I want to. It's like your Ozark story, right?
Yep.
I wish we would act on certain things faster. I fucking hate it. Um, I look at a lot of news, and I do the green screen shit all the time. Well, one of those is looking at stories specific to somebody saying, "Hey, I've got $1 million, and I've got this situation. I'm retiring," and I always skip those. I'm like, those would be good to do as a story. So I finally got one, and I did it. It's on a couple purchasing a home, all cash, and then being surprised, having regrets, and then finally saying, "Oh, it's okay." Right? I'm like, I'm gonna do it story fashion because I've been wanting to do it for a long time, and it blew up. Like it blew the fuck up. And I'm like, shit, I knew it like a fucking long time ago, right? And I'm thinking of your Valentine story. And now I'm thinking, that's a brilliant idea. And I would do more. So that's one. Then I would step into it and be like, listen, this is a Valentine's story, and then do the story. Find one online. I mean, like, this is a story of this husband purchasing a home for whoever on Valentine's, and then take them through that whole story. TikTok is designed for storytelling. You watch all these people tell fucking stories on TikTok and blow up. Well, use that and bring it back to you locally, to your area, and tie it down to the community or to real estate. But
Yeah.
dude, I'm now shifting just a little bit to include one or two of those a week because I was like, I knew it, but I didn't do anything about it for fucking half a year.
Why?
Honestly, I was like, that's a lot of work. That was it. I was like, and I don't want to learn a new thing. I'm happy just posting the shit I was posting. But then I did it. I go, yeah, it took an hour to do, but it was worth it. I'm like, okay. And then, we'll fast forward a month from now, it'll only take 10 minutes, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's what it is,
Yeah.
buddy,
I don't know
unfortunately.
that I don't know if there's necessarily a moral of the story other than the ideas that you have, like try to just get the demons out of your head and just do it.
I know, but we get in our own way, dude. We still
Hmm.
do it. I still do it daily. I'm like,
Less, less,
I don't want to.
less so. I did with the Ozarks and that, but it was really more of just it was I don't know if ignorance is the right word. Just I was almost just blind, like I wasn't paying any attention, you know. And then it's like all of a sudden I was paying attention, but I wasn't focused, and it was like, wait a minute, my audience is screaming at me. And then I went all in, and here we are. Like I have never looked back, but um,
I think a lot of people are in that position because they second guess. They're like, well, number one, how much work is this going to involve for me to remain consistent over a long period of time? Because we
yeah,
do think that. I'm like, can I?
yeah.
Number two, is it worth it? I don't know, right? And you don't know. I don't know,
Hmm.
right? And number three, I mean, do you really want to treat this like a business? I think that's the commitment part. I think that's probably the hardest one because I look at things and I'm like, am I really going to be, do I really want to be committed to this specific thing for like a long time? Because I don't want to fall off of it because I've fallen off of things before and I'm like, ah, shit.
Yeah.
All right, so you're
Well,
gonna have to tell us how your camera is because I've been eyeing that specific camera for 2 months.
if I'm on the Drunk on Social call on Thursday, I'll be at the lake, and so you'll get it by default if I make that call. Um,
What are you going to use that one for specifically?
that's just it's a webcam.
So you're going to be doing all of your videos from it, like
Yeah, this,
webinar.
yeah.
Okay,
Hmm. Yeah, because this is the old one that I had, the old Lumina.
I have that.
I haven't obviously set it up here yet, but it's okay. I don't think
Yeah.
it was good at the time. Now I think it's kind of yeah.
I hope the one you have is a hit because I want one.
It's yeah, I think it's good. I mean, I think the obviously as soon as you choose the camera, the quality just gets so much crisper. Obviously, I'd love to see it from your perspective versus mine because actually I did a side by side, took a picture with my phone, and you really couldn't like this camera, which is the laptop camera versus that camera, and you can't really tell from that picture. So I didn't do any posting about it, but I'd like to see what your perspective is watching it from your Zoom, right?
Yeah. All right. I'll take a look. First, I'll wait
All
for
right,
you.
all right, fair enough.
Thanks,
We'll get
buddy.
there. Happy Valentine's Day week.
Happy Valentine's Day. Do you think the Chiefs and Eagles go again next year?
Gosh, it's the NFL, man. It's impossible to predict. I hope not. I hope that the Buffalo Bills or the
I was gonna
Baltimore
say,
Ravens.
you're so funny. I was thinking, I hope the Bills beat the Chiefs finally.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, I agree with you on that. I hope the Bills make it, and I hope they don't lose because remember the 90s when they kept on losing to the
Oh, I
Cowboys?
know. And it's basically what's happening now. Yeah, that's just a cursed franchise. Yeah, it's sad.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy. It's a good one.
See you.